Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and the Life of Captain Marvel, issue number 1 of I believe it's a 5-issue limited series. So, nice thick book with a whole lot in it, but don't expect too much action. And that, if you know me, if you know what I like to read, I don't need all that crazy action. You know what I'm saying? I'm good without the action. I'm good with just a good story and a little bit of action occasionally. And this book more than meets that. There was just enough action to keep it a comic book, while at the same time, there was a story here. A comic book with a story? You don't see too many of those lately. Now, guys, you know that I fell off of Margaret Stoll's Captain Marvel book, and then I went back on it, and then I fell off, then I went back on it, and I fell off, and I just got so upset. And I didn't realize that she... I never said anything bad about her, but I didn't realize that she didn't know anything about comic books. Even in the back of this, she explains, oh, for crying out loud, come on. She explains how little she knew about comic books, and I appreciate that. That was very honest. I've read some of her stuff on Twitter. I've read about her her talking to Ta-Nehisi Coates, a fellow author, novelist, who... just forget about it. He's written a whole bunch of stuff. I think she's written a lot more than him, but he had to make the transition to comic books. It's a very difficult medium to get into. Duh. And she was having a hard time as well getting into that medium. So, you know, taking advice from him, asking and talking to a bunch of different people, working with a bunch of people, and giving a lot of credit to a whole lot of people as well. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? In the back of here, she gets into that also. But either way, I respect the heck out of Margaret Stoll, regardless of whether or not she's done a good job with Captain Marvel in the past. Right now, she's doing a good job with Captain Marvel. All right? Mind you, I could give a rat's backside about any of those channels that are basically just troll channels that want to, you know, what they like to call reviews. If you have a problem with the way that Captain Marvel is drawn, go draw it yourself and go look at whatever it is that you want to look at, all right? Whatever it is you want to look at. But comic books probably aren't for you. Maybe coloring books. Coloring books might be for you. For those of us who actually have an emotional IQ a little bit higher, an EQ a little bit higher than, you know, 12th grade level, hey man, this comic book may be for you. Comic books may be for you. Yeah, I've got no sympathy, no mercy for those kinds of people, and they really just need to go away. Eventually you're going to burn out, you're going to disappear, and you're going to be a big funny joke to all of the rest of us, and you are radically outnumbered. Either way, we get to see Carol Danvers go a little bit crazy and just start wailing on somebody. Now, I don't know who this character is. I don't know who she is, but she got her butt handed to her. At one point, she's like, geez, never hit me like that before. When you say things like that, reminds me of Superman and Spider-Man, the two characters who we always know have to constantly hold back. You know what I'm saying? They can't just punch at full strength. Yes, there's a lot of characters who do that, but those two characters who really exemplify that, Superman and Spider-Man. And Captain Marvel replicates that. I'm digging it. I dig that. So we can see a whole bunch about her past and her extremely abusive father, a fairly abusive mother too. And I know that it's really easy, and I hope that Margaret Stoll isn't going to try and show that, oh, she was only abusive, because this is abuse. What her mother does is called abuse. Wake up. That's abuse. I think that Margaret is going to try and indicate that she just did what she had to do to survive. That's really cute, okay? That's really cute. I took a lot of psychology. I took a whole lot of sociology, like an associate's degree worth of sociology. Excuse me. And I can assure you, abuse is abuse. And there is always a way to get out of it. Movies like Sleeping with the Enemy, that's a movie. You know what I'm saying? In real life, you can leave. You can leave. I know about domestic abuse shelters. I know about all these things, all right? Mom should have just left. That's that. In the meantime, there's something else going on, and that's the reason why I'm still there, because just reading this at first, I'm thinking, okay, I think that Margaret Stoll is just going to be making a bunch of excuses here. I'm not in the mood for reading a bunch of excuses. No, 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 no. that doesn't seem to be the case. Apparently her dad cheated on her. And it seems as though he cheated on her with some kind of an extraterrestrial being, which is, dude, if that's really what you're doing here, man, we're looking at like sparkling vampires. You know what I'm saying? This is about the weirdest straight comic book that I've ever read in my life, okay? I've read some beautiful novels before, like Stargirl is still one of my all-time favorite novels to read. Just sit down and just read a good story. I mean, like, there's the high concept adventures like Dune, and of course the political novels like 1984, and of course there's the Hobbit, you know, and all that stuff, but like a good down-to-earth kiddie book, you know what I'm saying? Like anything that Spinelli would write. But this specifically, Stargirl, oh my God, absolutely gorgeous gorgeous book. You know what I'm saying? Love Stargirl, that came afterwards, was pretty good too. Stargirl was an amazing story. This is starting to remind me just a little bit of Stargirl, okay? Because it seems like a normal story. And then you realize that there's something special going on. And I mean special in a really good, crazy, wild, wacky way. I have no damned clue what's going to happen in the next issue. And I can't wait to get my grubby little hands on it. All right? Margaret Stoll writing, of course. Penciler for the present day stuff is Carlos Pacheco. Inker for the present day stuff is Rafael Fonteres. Colorist for the present day stuff is Marcio Menez. And the artist for all of the flashback stuff is Marguerite Sauvage. I hope I'm not destroying that name, sorry. BC's Clayton Cowles does the lettering. And cover art, Julian Totino Tesecco. This name right here, okay? Anyway, sorry, dude. We should come with a transliteration. So, oh, Joe Quesada did one of the variant covers for this. That's actually pretty cool. Fiona Staples, too. Art Germ did... Dude, how did I not see all these variant covers? Either way, look, at first glance, I'm thinking to myself that this comic book should just be one of those comics where you look at, you read, and you're like, okay, cool. This would be better to get in trade. And it might actually still be good to get this in trade rather than each individual issue. I don't know. I don't claim to know. What I will say, though, is that there are way too many people involved in this comic book who clearly believe that this comic book is going to succeed for it to not succeed. So I believe that there's an incredible story here. I haven't fully seen it yet because I haven't seen it fleshed out yet, but there is more than enough here to make me say, I can't wait for the next issue. And that is a damn good feeling for a book with a writer who I fell off of 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I've been looking forward to reading this first issue for a couple of months now, ever since I heard it was coming into existence. Now that I've read it, I can't wait for issue number 2. Hey, issue 2 might just destroy it for me. I might be like, this is stupid. You know what I'm saying? But I will not be throwing it on the floor, ripping it, or doing any of those childish things. Eventually, those people will disappear. And they'll look back on their lives and realize what an absolute disaster they were. But hey, in the meantime, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the next issue. This looks like it's going to be fun. This looks like it's going to reveal something about Carol's past, more than just an abusive father, than I could have ever possibly imagined. And that's awesome, especially with the Captain Marvel movie coming out pretty soon. I'm really looking forward to that. And guys, seriously, read that essay at the back of the book. It's really good. It's really good. The innuendo that she uses and the way that Margaret Stoll describes her experiences and the people who she's met without actually giving a single name, expert. If you're curious what kind of a writer she is outside of writing comic books, this is what you're gonna look at to see what a great writer she is. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.